Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex, and I'm here to bring you the top 12 games I'm excited about coming out in 2022. Man, there's going to be a lot of good games coming out in 2020. I mean, when are there not good games coming out? This ain't the dull drums of 1999 anymore. Publishers are bringing it, and I'm here for it. Man, we get so many good games all the time. It's kind of overwhelming, but I got a chance to preview a lot of games at different fall board game conventions like PAX Unplugged, Gen Con, things like that. So these are all games that I saw at those conventions. I didn't get a chance to play full games of any of these, so these are all kind of like first impressions. So maybe when I play one, I'm gonna be like, wow, that makes my biggest disappointment list. But for now, I'm excited for all of these games, and I think you should be too. Top 12 games I'm excited for in 2022. Yay, yay. Number 12 is Mortem Medieval Detective from Arcane Wonders. And this only checks in at 12 because I know virtually nothing about it, okay? Except that the cover is tight and it's about detectives during the Middle Ages. So, I mean, both of those things make me here for it, even though I don't know anything about it, Medieval detectives? Come on, they didn't have detectives back then. The king didn't want detectives. The king wanted him to be right and nobody to look into it any more than that forever and ever until I'm dead. That's what the king wanted, so maybe you're a rogue detective, huh? I can tell you one thing, if it was medieval times, you were dirty. You were figuring out clues and then smelling gross all the time. Number 11 on the list is Jurassic World: The Legacy of Isla Nublar. This is a cooperative legacy game, and you are working together with other people to try to build up your own custom Jurassic World. You're trying to breed dinosaurs, you're trying to build enclosures. Some things are gonna go wrong at some point, I'm pretty sure. Can't really be Jurassic World if you're like, wow, we just did a great job setting up this dinosaur zoo and that's the end of it. Nope, some stuff's gonna happen and you're gonna have to deal with it. But at the end of your 12 campaigns, you're gonna be using stickers and things like that, and at the end, you got a fully playable Jurassic World game for your pleasure that is kind of custom. You just made up your own Jurassic World game. Now, this would be higher on my list because it looks tight. I just don't do a ton of legacy games because they're a bigger commitment than I can handle most of the time. But if you are excited for legacy games, then I don't think there's a better one coming out in 2022 than Jurassic World: The Legacy of Isla Nublar. Number 10 on my list is Studies in Sorcery from Weird Giraffe Games. And the reason I'm excited for this one is I love small games with big strategy, and that is what this game is. The box really isn't very big at all. It is an engine building and drafting game in which players are trying to complete projects in alchemy, reanimation, and more to finally complete their thesis statement and graduate from the Academy of the Dark Arts. And I love engine building games, and I also love the dark arts. Ooh. I'm trying to intimidate you with my knowledge of dark arts. Is it working? Nope. Okay, we'll move on. But if you like engine building games and you like games with a lot of strategy in a fairly small package, then Studies in Sorcery is definitely one to check out. And that one's coming out really soon, actually. That one's coming out end of January, I think. So we get a nice hit right at the beginning of 2022. Number 9 on my list is from Plaid Hat Games. It is Familiar Tales. And Familiar Tales is like their follow-up to both Stuffed Fables and Forgotten Waters. So it's their follow-up to Stuffed Fables in theme, and it's the follow-up to Forgotten Waters in app integration. So this is a game where you are playing as the animal familiars to a potential hero or heroine. It's like every Disney movie, right? The princess has an animal sidekick. Well, in this game, you are those sidekicks. You are working together to protect this baby from evil forces. And one of the things I'm most excited about is the app integration that comes with this game. They did the same thing they did in Forgotten Waters, where they hired a bunch of voice actors to tell the story of the game. And man, is that a great way to do it. It makes you feel so immersed. There was years that I was like, I don't want to play a game with an app. I play board games to get away from technology. But this is how you do an app right. An app that can bring you into the story of the game, well, that's totally worth it, because there's only so much you can do with ink and paper. With the app, they've got all this amazing voice acting, and they've got sound effects, and it just really, you close your eyes and you feel right there. This is also a campaign game where you are doing different maps and going to different locations and doing things there. It's a narrative game, so that's how the story gets told, is by going to different locations and stuff like that. It is deck building as well, which I think is always a fun mechanism. It's fantasy adventure. It's all of those great things. But really the thing that sets it apart is the storytelling of the game. So if you like storytelling stuff, then check out Familiar Tales. Number 8 on my list is Block and Key from Inside Up Games. This is a game with amazing table presence, and I like games that have amazing table presence because it brings people into the hobby. People go, yeah, you see Monopoly and you're like, oh, whatever, I get it. But then you see something that's like big on the table and you're like, whoa, I didn't know board games could do that. And yes, they can, all right? And so this is a game where it messes with perspective. You are trying to put blocks into certain perspectives, and the blocks are all three-dimensional blocks, but only your 2D perspective matters. So you're from your side looking at the blocks and going, okay, this one needs to be near this one, and it doesn't matter that this one is 4 high and this is 1 high, as long as they're fitting your 2D perspective. And that sounds really interesting, being able to mess with perspective like that. And it's a good abstract game, and I like abstract games because they just feel like pure games, right? It's just like, did you figure out fun mechanics? Well, then I'll play it. Number 7 on my list is a party game from 25th Century Games called Green Team Wins. This is going to be one of the best games out there for groups of for large groups. If you have a bunch of people and you want to play a game with them, well, then play Green Team Wins. This can play up to 25 people is the most I've heard playing it. I played it with a group of, 18 people or something like that, and it worked totally well. All this game is everybody starts on the orange team and a question comes up. Sometimes those questions are fill in the blanks. Sometimes they are multiple choice, things like that, So it's like, hey, spider, and then you got to finish that sentence, spider blank. And then if you wrote Spider-Man and a bunch of other people, the majority wrote Spider-Man, well, now you're on the green team and you earn points. And you earn points whenever you stay on the green team and you're still in the majority. If you don't stay, if you're not on the majority in your answer, if you said like spider lawyer and everybody was like, what? No. What? Spider lawyer? Why would you even write that? Well, now you're back on the orange team and you don't get any points, all right? So all you're trying to do is stay in the majority with your answers and rack up points that way. Number 6 on my list is Bigfoot Roll and Smash from XYZ Game Labs. This is a game about monster trucks, and why has that not existed until this point? All right, this is such fertile ground for a great game, and I am so excited that someone is finally making it. The coolest part of this game is the dice. There are literally these giant monster truck tire dice, and you just roll them on the table, and they have different benefits on the sides of them, and that is how you roll your dice. No chucking, we're rolling big old monster tires, and it's hilarious and awesome. This is a game where you are, it's a programming game where you're racing your monster truck around this arena and trying to get points. So you get to push your luck and things like that. And I always love push your luck in games. But really, you're going to want to play this game because of those dice. Check it out. That's Bigfoot Roll and Smash. Number 5 on my list, I can't tell you much about it because it's restricted. This is a top secret game, okay? But what I can tell you about it is that 1, it's coming out from Elf Creek Games, and 2, it is a holiday themed game. And I am super excited about it. 1, because Elf Creek makes great stuff all the time. I mean, every game they put out is top notch in terms of production quality and stuff like that. And 2, this is a more complex holiday game. Most holiday games that come out are like silly fun for the whole family. Oh, we're just slapping cards, we're just playing stuff. This is a game with some meat on it that has some real strategy and choices to it. And I don't know that many holiday themed games that are kind of that medium weight style game, and so I'm really excited to play this one. I believe Elf Creek is announcing more about it in January, so stay tuned for that. Yes! Number 4 on my list is the thematic abstract game Boop from Smirk and Laughter Games. This is a game where you are playing as cats on a bed trying to bounce the other player's cats off of the bed, all right? And the board actually looks like a bed, okay? There's a little bed skirt around it, and there's a quilt that you put on top of it, and it's awesome, all right? It really adds to the theme. And in the end, it really is like an abstract game, but the theme makes it so much more silly and fun. All you're doing in the game is moving kittens around on a bed, trying to bump your opponent's kittens off of the bed. And then if you get to certain requirements, you can upgrade your kitten to a cat. And now you're trying to bump cats off the bed. And whoever can do it the best wins the game. And I love a good abstract game, like I said earlier. And this is definitely one of them. But that kittens on a bed theme makes all the difference in the world, and it makes it silly and fun. And I will say, there's actually more strategy and more thought than I would have realized on first glance with this game. At first, you're just like, oh, this is silly fun. And then you're like, oh, okay, there's some like real thought here. Okay, I need to figure out how to do this, So if you like a good abstract strategy game, then that one looks pretty fun. Number 3 on my list is from Skybound and Druid City Games, and it is Wonderland's War. This is an Alice in Wonderland themed game, but it's the mechanics that I'm most excited about. It is a drafting, bag building, area control game, and I love bag building. It's one of my favorite mechanics in any game. Things like Quacks of Quedlinburg, Cubito, you get what I'm trying to say. But those things where you're building up, you're choosing which type of dice or token or whatever that you want to add into your bag. And then, there's that joy and that tension of like reaching in and being like, am I going to get the thing I really need at this point? Well, I invested in it. Hopefully I get it. I love that. And so that's one of the things that Wonderland's War does really well. You are kind of like worker placementing your standee around this center table and then that gets you different things, different cards that you want, and then you can buy different tokens that you add in your bag, and then you are also area controlling with things. But man, the art looks amazing. The graphic design is tight, is dope, is all those cool things I can say. And it's got that nice like push your luck bag building element to it. Number 2 on my list is from IV Games, IV Studios, and it is Mythic Mischief. This is another kind of abstract game with a theme that makes it elevated beyond just a normal abstract game, sort of like Boop. This one is you play as students at the Mythic Manor, and you are competing to get as many of the other students caught by the Tome Keeper as you can without getting caught yourself. So you are moving around this board and trying to push other players and do things like that, all while moving the Tome Keeper and trying to... It's not like super screw over your neighbor. It's like basically I'm going to put you in a disadvantageous position so that you get caught by the Tome Keeper. And I think that's really interesting. Plus the, IV Studios, their first game, Moonrakers, the component quality and the look of it is like fairly unmatched. It just looks so great. And I think Mythic Mischief also looks really, really cool. And as I have said multiple times in this video now, I love a good abstract game that has a cool theme on top of it, and Mythic Mischief is definitely that. Also pretty thinky about how you're going to move stuff around and push people into the path of the Tome Keeper. The miniatures are really cool in this game too, so all of it gets me real hyped. All right, I'm here for the Mythic. I'm on the Mythic Mischief hype train. Choo choo! All right, and then my number 1 most anticipated game of 2022 is Meeples and Monsters from Alderac Entertainment Group. This is, you see a theme here with my top few. Boop and Mythic Mischief were both abstract strategy games with cool themes. Meeples and Monsters, like Wonderland's War, is a bag building game. It is a bag building, engine building game, and I am here for that combination, okay? You basically start with a bunch of meeples in different colors, and they are your starter meeples, and you can buy and upgrade meeples throughout the game, and each different color allows you to do different things and get different special abilities and have different focuses and things like that. So you're basically just trying to level up your meeples and then fight different monsters and win the game, So if you like the idea of leveling up your meeples and getting different color meeples that do different things for you, then Meeples and Monsters seems really fun, and I'm stoked for it. So that's it. That's my top 12 games I'm excited for in 2022. Thank you guys for joining this video, and I'm excited to play all these games. I'll bring you more coverage on them when I get the chance to actually play full games on them and stuff like that. And then next week I should have my top 10 games of 2021 list. I wanted to play a couple of last games I had at my house before I put out that video, so now it's going to be comprehensive. So that'll be coming soon. All right, thanks so much. Have fun playing games out there.